Expo, including local builds, EAS, Android Studio, Xcode, and everything that you can do. Hey everyone, what's up? Simon back here with another tutorial on clarifying what you can do with Expo in your React Native application in terms of building your app. So here we go. I have a completely blank new application and we're gonna straight dive into this because the first thing is so easy. You're just gonna run npx expo and then you can follow this up with start, or you can just do npx expo. This is the easiest way of building your React Native application with Expo. It will give you a QR code that you can scan with your Android device, with your iOS device, or you can simply press A, I, or W to open Android, iOS simulation. The preview fastest way, literally live reload, go shortcut for, and keep in mind, this is not the debug. I just application, or it might be out of the box. Kept this in a sec. Quickly spin up your application. It is okay for using it while testing. You can use it like the complete time if you're only using. So another downside of Expo out, you don't really usually you play. So Expo specified set project now native folders for Android and iOS. You can kind of generation. So there's a lot already going on after you leave the comfort of the Expo Go application, but bear with me, we're gonna walk through this. So now that you have these Android and iOS folders, the easiest way to run your application is going ahead with npx expo run, and then follow this up with either Android or iOS. So I will just do npx expo run iOS. I will also now close this so we see what's going on. We don't need this right now. By the way, if you run no npx pre-build and just run npx expo run iOS, it will actually also on the first run do a pre-build of your project. So it's kind of the same. And this might take a while because now we are actually building our own native application that will be built to our device. So let's wait until this is finished. All right, so the build finished and we kind of see the same output. It looks like we're still using the Expo Go application or what's going on, but notice the difference. We are now using a development build. So this is an important term. And there you can actually still switch to the Expo Go app by pressing S. So now we have a build and the simulator here asks if I want to open this. So I click open. And we get kind of the same experience that we had before. Once again, we should have live reload, so I can change something and it quickly changes in here as well. What has changed? Now, this is our own application. You see, I launched this and I did not launch the Expo Go application. That means on my device, I also now lost the connection. If I wanted to also deploy this to a device, I won't have to follow up the commands, so I don't want to mess up the command. Let's do a new terminal, npx run iOS -- device. Then I could build straight to my connected device. And by the way, this should now also work over the network, so you don't even have to connect your running build for your build, because this is my debug. And by the way, install like change Android for the app, my app to copy your.
It's hard to reach your goals when your teams are pulled in too many directions. With this
100% flexibility, you can install any native module, you can use config plugins and continuous native generation. As you can see here, we're still running live. This is like a live test, a live reload and hot reload of our application with Expo Run and not the Expo Go application. However, let's take things a step further now. You might be coming from Android Studio or Xcode as a native developer and you're asking yourself, but maybe I just want to run it through these tools. How could I do that? Good question. I'm here to show you exactly this. So as I said, we do have an Android and iOS folder after doing our pre-build. So the pre-build is kind of like the prerequisite to do what we do now. What I want to do is I would actually like to open this. I previously could really open this this folder right here. Let's reveal it in the Finder. And then I will open the XC workspace. So this is a traditional Xcode project. Now, let's see what can we do. We can deploy this to the iPhone 15. because if I check this out, you see nothing is running. So I do have to run npx expo start again, --dev client. Okay, so this is now png. That stuff is automatically applied to your Xcode or Android projects when you do. I think that procedure, it should be pretty clear for the people who want to use this. Now, a few more things and notes on these process and what we can do as well. Build your application, and this means you have like 95% of the knowledge about how to build your React Native application with Expo, and this actually is like enough to build an app, to develop an app, to release an app, and you don't need anything more beyond this. However, let's also talk about EAS. So I think it's quite interesting for you to see that until now I haven't mentioned the word EAS or anything of like paid builds. Everything that you've seen so far in this video is completely free. Using Expo, using the CLI, using Android Studio, using Xcode, and using the available tools to build your app, which just shows you don't have to use EAS, but it can dramatically simplify how you build your React Native application. So EAS Build is a hosted service for building app binaries for your Expo and React Native projects. The first time I got in contact with Expo and looked up how to build stuff, I quickly got into EAS and then local builds of EAS, and everything looked so confusing. So that's why I wanted to show you all the other things of Expo Go and pre-build and what you can do locally before we actually get into this thing, because this might otherwise scare you away and say, oh, Expo is only paid, they wanted me. Let's first of all check out the EAS JSON. So this is a file that EAS device create. So I can this is Expo. You get a download here. I can download. This would give me an a tar file, and of course the same here for Android. I could install this just. Then you need to sometimes create devices and upload credentials, and then you can build your project either